The onset of double insiders points at Lego.com and Lego stores brings with it a new gift with purchase right here, the Northern Lights Diorama. Now this one follows on the heels of 3 prior dioramas that Lego calls the wonders of the natural world. You've got a coral reef, a rainforest, and a savanna. And so this one wraps up the series, and I think it looks pretty good. It's got, I think, a more visual appeal than the other ones, at least in my opinion. But I think the question that a lot of people have, is this really worth the $150, €150 or $130 British pound spend to get this set? So let's dive into that. We start with the box and packaging, and the box is different tones of purple, which distinguishes it from the green, orange, and blue of the previous dioramas. The main view of the set is featured on the front, while the back shows off a different angle and highlights the glow-in-the-dark 1x1 round tile that represents the moon, as well as the icy stream that reflects the northern lights. Inside the box are 4 numbered bags of varying sizes and a mangled instruction manual. My copy of the set actually had the manual popping out of the box slightly, which created an additional crease in the instruction manual, but the instructions are printed on a light blue background, and all of the steps are very easily seen from this background. If I had to rate the build, I would say it's solid, but not spectacular. You start by putting together the base, which has some large white plates stacked on some black 1x(n) plates. After that, you begin to layer the dark tan ground and white snow-capped landscape. You also begin shaping a slightly meandering stream that uses these frosted 1x2 blue tiles. Bricklink refers to the color as satin trans light blue, and this piece was featured prominently in last year's Icons Kingfisher set. They also appeared in limited quantities in 3 other sets from 2025. The coolest part of the build was the use of brackets to create the ability to attach the night sky backdrop. This is actually a very strong connection. That way, if you pick it up by the backdrop and you shake it around, it doesn't come off. It's very, very sturdy. The rocks are a combination of dark and light blaze slopes with some white cheese slopes used to denote the microscale mountain peaks. There are some trans blue bricks and slopes sprinkled in to represent waterfalls, which is a nice effect. With the groundwork laid, it's time to build the backdrop, which uses dark blue plates secured along the back perimeter with black plates, as well as the light blade 4x4 plate. You then add the trans dark pink 1x2 plates and 1x1 quarter round tiles. Now these quarter round tiles are new in dark pink, which is very nice to see them in this set. You also get some quarter round tiles in satin trans bright green, which have only appeared 4 times prior. The 1x2 tiles in this color are also brand new. The last part of the build is the most repetitive. You build 13 trees using dark brown candle pieces as trunks and 3 stem pieces for the pine branches. There are 22 of these candles in dark brown, which is actually more than the combined amount in the 4 other sets in which this piece has appeared before. The end result is, I would say, a charming yet chilly diorama. There's a nice mix of colors which is consistent with the prior dioramas. It looks excellent from 3 sides as the microscale mountains are sloped on each of these sides. The stream cuts through the landscape nicely and does a nice job of reflecting some of the northern lights. Some light purple and blue flowers dot the landscape as well. This lower section is perhaps better executed than the backdrop, which lacks the integration of dark pink and bright green colors that I see in images of the northern lights. Now this brings me to a slight criticism of the set. While about 10% of all pieces are somehow connected to the northern lights, only 24 of them are used in the sky. If these pieces did a better job of depicting the actual northern lights, I wouldn't make a huge note of this, but the execution does fall a bit flat. The glow-in-the-dark moon is cool, and it works fairly well if you can get your room dark enough. I do wish there were more glow-in-the-dark colors to really make this nighttime sky pop, but it's just not realistic at this point. As I get into my rating and review, let's focus on the positives. The first positive I will say is that this is definitely visually appealing. It has a nice color scheme to it, and I think that stands out from some of the other dioramas, which either had too many colors or didn't seem to be as coherent or lacked some really strong execution. This, I think, has a combination of all of that, even if there are some flaws. I also think that it's nice that LEGO, like the other dioramas, was able to focus its entire budget on pieces because there are no minifigs in here. And I think it benefits from that. It's the most number of pieces that we see in any of the dioramas that came out this year. I know some of the pieces are small, but some of them are actually brand new to this set. So I think that's really a nice thing for LEGO to include here as part of a gift with purchase. And it's not going to make anyone rush out and get those pieces just for this, or the set for those pieces, but it's nice that they include it in here, and it's nice that there is no exclusive minifig. I also really appreciate the use of the dark brown candles. Getting 22 of them means that I can take this apart and I can use some of those pieces for other details on modular buildings or other things that I want to build with them. So again, the pieces are, I think, very, very nice here. Now, I say this not having the other 3 dioramas, so I haven't done an in-depth analysis of the pieces included in those, but it wouldn't shock me if there was something similar going on with those sets. However, there are a couple of oddities to this set that I think bring down the overall rating. The first oddity is the lack of pieces used here in the night sky. There's only 24, 25 if you include the moon, and I think that it doesn't really represent the Northern Lights all that well. I wish that LEGO would somehow integrate those pieces a bit better, or even if you can't smear them together like you might see in an image of the Northern Lights, find some way to use more pieces there. Now, this maybe also is relevant to note that some of these pieces, like the quarter round dark pink tiles and the 1x2 tiles in the satin trans bright green, are brand new to the set, so they probably were limited in how many they could include, but it would be nice if they had more pieces up there. The second oddity is that there are a bunch of flowers dotting the landscape. Personally, I live in Northeast Ohio here in the United States. We have long winters. I never see flowers blooming in the middle of winter from, December all the way through February. Maybe when you get to the end of February or early March, you'll start seeing some flowers pop through the landscape. But honestly, to see them with this amount of snow and ice is kind of odd. So not a huge deal, but something I definitely noticed as I was building this. All told, I would rate this one a 7 out of 10. I think it's better than some other gifts with purchase that we've received recently, such as the Room of Requirement or the Simpsons Living Room. I don't think it's as good as other recent ones, like the Sega Genesis controller or the Jane Austen gift tribute, or the even last October when we got the Halloween pumpkin. I think it's about on par with the Jack Sparrow compass. Now, speaking of the compass, that one, people definitely want to get that because it goes for about $75 to $80 on the secondary market. This one is not going for that, at least at this point in time. I did a little bit of research on the other 3 dioramas, and they go from anywhere from about $20 to $28, closer to $30. I think this one's going to go on the secondary market for about that $30 price range. Right now, I've seen a couple already sell on Bricklink for $30 to $35. So it wouldn't surprise me that as this becomes more common, that the price will kind of settle into that $30 price range, maybe $25 to $30, if you can get a really good deal on one. So if you are not interested in spending 150 US dollars, 150 euro, or 130 British pounds, or whatever the currency is in your country, know that you could probably get this for a solid deal on the secondhand market. However, I will note that double insiders points are available at lego.com and at LEGO stores. So if there are some sets that you want to target with your purchases here as we get to the end of the year, and you like this gift with purchase, you have the other 3, or you think this one, like me, is more visually appealing and just cooler than the other ones, it may be worth getting a set off of your wish list if you've been holding off on that for a better gift with purchase. I will say there is another gift with purchase that LEGO has revealed coming out at the end of October, which is a Disney animation scenes with a little TV and some different scenes that you could switch out on the little TV that they have. And that one is probably going to be more in demand than this one. So just let you know that if you are not interested in double points and there aren't any particular sales that you see going on right now at LEGO or on any retailer website or in stores, waiting for that one might be preferable to this one. So that is our review of the Northern Lights diorama. Thank you so much for watching, and always remember to keep building together.